Welcome to Lisa and Michael Save the World. And today we have a special guest. Oh, we lost our special guest. Yeah, okay, we have a special guest. He made an entrance. Yeah. We have just a little background.
Yeah.
I recently joined an art group called Arts United in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, which is a great art group. And I was trolling around on Instagram and I saw one of their artists and I just happened to send him a message on Instagram.
And what you did?
That's what I did. I sent him a message. I said who I was and then, oh, he's gone again.
Okay.
Oh my God. My partner is calling and calling. Like these people is obsessed with me.
So see, I was obsessed with him. So yes. I sent him a message and he responded and we were like chatting. And I'm like, oh my God, it's a friendly artist, because usually they're kind of like, who are you? But he was really nice. And the same day I was chatting with him, he goes, do you have any pieces that you could show? Because they were doing an art walk that day. And I'm like, I was laying in bed still. It's like 11:30. And I'm like, sure, I can round something up.
Give me 10 minutes.
And he and his studio partner had me join them for this art walk, which was wonderful. And I sold a couple of my Sweet Tooth books.
That's nice.
And they were just these guys were so nice. So nice. So Enrique Cirino.
Yes.
Yes,
you got it.
Hey, Cirino. So welcome to Lisa and Michael Save the World.
Welcome. It's so awesome to have
you.
Here.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me. I'm very honored to be sharing this little time with you guys. Thank you, Michael. I mean, I'm super excited for this.
Well, I am so glad that you decided to do the show with us because this is great because we've been doing some local artists, but this is great because we get to have someone who's in Florida.
I know, this is great.
Yeah, this is great.
So
let's jump into it,
Michael. Let's jump into it. Okay. So tell us a little bit about your influences and tell us a little bit about what you do.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm a mixed media collage artist. Basically, as you must be familiar, I use a lot of cutouts of magazines, and I use that to create a piece. I have a fascination for magazines, so what better way to use it, like use it in art. So as you can see on my art, like in my art, I'm very influenced by the Baroque and the Rococo era. The periods of art. I love those periods of art when I was little. Like it looks like so fantastic, and I always want to paint. And well, since I started doing art, I wanted my things to look like that. They don't quite look like that, but it kind of have that spirit, that experience is like royals having fun, very kind of like religious, but they're not religious at all. They were like all sensual, and it was all about showing skin and all that stuff. And it was like in that period of time, it was like a rebellion of thing. And of course, the Rococo period have like a lot. It's like everything have to be bigger and have to have a lot of stuff. So basically, that's my influence. I'm very influenced by an artist called Velázquez, which he have, the meninas. And that's basically what I do. I do the dresses on my dolls, and they're like my meninas, but I call them quinceañeras, which is because I'm Latin. So it's kind of like, part of my heritage. So those are my quinceañeras. So yeah, that's pretty much my influence. Artists as Velázquez, Caravaggio, with that religious sense, that he brings everything like so dramatic and like so religious. And I'm very into religious kind of like those images. I grew up as a Catholic boy, so I grew up on those churches, like looking at those images so perfect, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so scared of this. So it's kind of like I try to put that on my paintings and on my pieces.
That's great. And I can see your influence. I can see what you're talking about. Rococo, all that era, so indulgent, so over the top, so ornate, so much, like almost to the point where it's too many details. Even the Rococo like frames were like incredibly bright and colorful or gold and just carved.
Absolutely. I love a gold frame.
Yeah,
I love a frame. Like now it's like my new thing. Like I get like as bigger the better. Like as much like big, it looks like it's fantastic for me. And that feeling that you have a lot, because what I try to do sometimes on my pieces is like to use all these cutouts to create a story. Yeah. But if you get a piece of one of my pieces, like you will see like every day you will find something new. And that's the challenge, because I want to put a lot, like one behind the other, like on top of that. And, you know, maybe behind it have like those cute details and, you know, well, cute for say like, oh, somehow, I don't know what's going on. Like it was calling and calling. I never received calls, and now it's the time. So, well, you know, like I get, I'm sorry about that. I apologize. I mean, like, yeah, but you know, like I try to put a lot of details, like a lot, like this overkill of things.
Yeah.
Like this overkill.
The more you look at your work, the more you see. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
yes.
Yeah.
Looking at it once isn't enough. Like you really need to almost live with your pieces so that you get the whole experience.
Exactly.
I highly recommend that people buy your work.
Thank you. Yeah, I highly recommend it too. Yeah. That will be, you know, right now since I'm between studios, yeah. I got many of my since I'm between studios, I got many of my pieces at home, and I put some of my pieces on my walls, and I'm like, why did I do that? Oh, okay. So I'm enjoying, like, it works because I'm enjoying my art right now very, very much. Like I have like 4 pieces or 4 of my pieces in my house. And I look at them and I go around and I'm like, oh, look at that. Oh, I remember that. Oh, this is the story. So it's very enjoyable. And you know, that I'm having a blast with that, you know?
It shows, and it really shows. So what's our next question?
Our next one, let's do Artholes.
Yeah, tell us something about the art world that you don't like, something that you think either should change, something that's happened, like
a person.
Well,
or a person.
Well, you know, I don't, you know, I was thinking about that, and the only, you know, kind of like this character that, you know, that nobody likes, Caravaggio. It's like the bad guy of art. You know, he's like that. You know, I'm gonna tell you a little thing about myself. Like it might sound a little crazy, but well, I'm dressed as a pink bunny, so you know, it doesn't get as ridiculous or any ridiculous than this. So, you know, when I'm doing a painting, like I like, you know, because painting is like my thing. And I enjoy like creating all these stories, and I'm thinking on all these periods of art, like on the Rococo or the Baroque, where Caravaggio used to do his stuff. It's like he's like the bad guy of this, you know, like the, you know, like if it was about him, like he was like, there's a net stories about him going to the restaurants and talking to the waiters, like he was like a real, you know, he was an asshole. Yeah. You know, but you know, like I think that's something. I think also something that it's Artholes is like right now on the period of times that we're living, because if you see the whole picture. Right now, it's like the era of pop. That's how I like to call it, because all the Rococo and the Baroque, they were like centuries. on the making. It was a whole century. So right now, after the pop art, like after Warhol, opened this door for all of us. And the pop art is right now what it's happening. And I'm glad that, that this is happening, that we're still creating, like we're still putting art, like we're still making things ourselves. I love that. So, right now there is a tendency that artists think that some of them are better than others. So I think, we should start thinking like as an art community, as a movement, because we all artists are part of this. In a century, they will study the movement of art that we're doing. Like we are mixing fashion with pop art, with bigger stars, with stories ourselves. So, and everybody has a story to tell. And some of the artists, like, they don't support other artists. So I think that's something that is very Artholes, that we as an as an artist, we should support each other as a community.
It's very true, and Enrique definitely lives by those words, because you do, because you were so kind to me, someone that you had no idea who I was. I mean, you didn't know.
Come on, but I saw your work, and your work is fantastic. I mean, hello. I mean, who doesn't want to have that in a gallery? I mean, that was another thing,
Okay. And I remember that you had
what?
On one of the early episodes.
Enrique Caravaggio. When we first started this series, I think he was my first or second Arthole.
Yeah, I remember.
So I'm with you. I get it.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. The guy was fantastic. But there are stories because one of my first obsession with art, it was Caravaggio, because I was like, I usually admire people that can paint that beautifully. But on those times, they say that he's not the one that usually do the whole painting. It's like a whole school, like because they were like communities, and they were like the school of Caravaggio. So they all helped to do the thing. But the guy was like, oh my God. It's like, I'm pretty sure like if we met him this time, he will be like, oh, he will hit me or something. It was like very rude.
I think I agree. Totally agree.
But he's talented as hell.
Well, we'll do that at the end, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we'll do.
We're not done.
No, we're not done. Remember, we have art history.
I always forget.
You never forget art history.
I always forget something.
She always forgets something, but usually not art history. Usually she does it. So a piece of art history.
A piece of art history, like you mean like a painting?
Yeah, I guess something that
anything, a sculpture, any piece of art that you find inspiring or interesting,
or bad.
There is a couple. There is a couple of them. Like I think, like my favorite painting of all times is "The Lovers" by Magritte.
Oh.
Do you remember that piece that they're covered with? They have like their faces are covers and they're kissing.
Yeah,
that's "The Lovers" too of Magritte. I think that is a fantastic piece. But I think pieces that have changed, it's like so many. It's like pieces that have changed the world. Like it's like, or like have changed the history. It's like, it can be photographer.
Sure.
Because Cindy Sherman is one of my favorites.
Get out of here. Love her.
It's just fantastic the way that she plays with gender and photography, and like she can, like the good thing about her and what I learned about her is like you can do whatever it is, as ridiculous or it is, as long as you have good taste. And the colors, the way that she combines background, and she's very modern. It's photography. It's like I think she's still alive. I don't want to mistake about that, but like she's still, but her art is fantastic, and I think that's that's something that I think have changed the way that as we see photography, editorial, and all that stuff. Because what she did is art, but it's so editorial that it's still it's fantastic.
Good choice. Love Cindy Sherman.
And see, it's an piece of art history that I know.
And she's a contemporary artist.
Yes. She's still alive.
Yeah, so.
That's true. That's true.
So, yeah.
This was great.
This was so great.
Yes, and when I come to Florida, we have to do, the three of us have to broadcast live.
Yeah.
Oh my God, please.
Yes.
I would love to. I will wear the bunny suit.
Yes. We should all get a bunny suit.
All of you have to get a bunny suit. And we have to do the bunny craft.
Yes.
This is so great.
Now, Enrique, you have Instagram.
Yes. My Instagram is Cirino Art. Is at Cirino Art, Cirino Art. You can find all my work, everything in there. You can find me on Facebook as Enrique Cirino, or recently I joined TikTok, even though that is not my generational thing. There's nothing there where I want to start trying because, and it's at Cirino Art as well.
Great. So you're easy to find. This is awesome.
Yes.
Thank you so much. This exceeded my expectations a million.
Thank you.
Great to meet you, and now I'm so inspired.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for inviting me. It was amazing to talk to you guys. I can't wait that we can do this live, and it was so much fun to do it. Thank you. I really appreciate the invitation, and I'm here for whatever you need. Check me out on my Instagram. So
yeah, check him out. Be sure to check him out, and also to check us out. Lisa Michael Save the World, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. So comment, ring the bell, do whatever, all those things that the kids do nowadays.
Yes.
We'll see you next time.
Yeah.